I just feel like amazing. And so we started White History Month because we cannot forget. We got to remember the white man who founded and created the greatest country on this side of heaven. So we're up here to talk to the folks and see how they celebrated White History Month.
Yeah, you guys. So that's relatively interesting. That is my man, Jesse Lee Peterson. That brother has a very interesting perspective on everything interesting. But before we get into that, good evening. Welcome to Just the Guys podcast. It is 6:30 p.m. on Saturday night. We are the 6:30 episode that runs through the week for all of Metro Conservative Media's wonderful shows and channels. Catch all of them. Got Monday, Wednesday, and Friday Poppin' Politics at 8 and 9, 6:45 p.m. on Tuesday is the All-American Talk Show. Saturday and Sunday at 9 p.m. is Christian Conservative, and this is Just the Guys. With me is the man, the myth, the legend, a.k.a. and affectionately known as Professor Bling. We have Tyrone Keys of Soldiers of Finance, another incredible YouTube channel. Check that man out. Anything about finance, he knows. That on the other side up top is Logic. I am Reason. Welcome to Just the Guys podcast.
What up, everybody? All right, it is Saturday, and we started the clip. It says July is White History Month, but we are in August, so happy August, and welcome. Can you guys believe it's already August though? Like,
right?
For real.
Crazy.
Man, this year has been flying by. Like, it's the 8th month. We're halfway through summer.
Man,
His kids are about to go back to school. Man, this time's been flying, man.
Yeah.
But how's the summer been?
Great. I've been enjoying myself.
Yeah, that's awesome. What about you, Reason?
it has been inordinately hot. I'm talking. It has been. Let me see. Do you see this this sign below me that says Chadwick Reason Frazier? I was that complexion at the beginning of this summer, and I am what I am right now. So it has been a hot summer, and I don't know if you guys, and maybe down in Florida, because I know S-Files is down there. We had a ridiculous storm that took place yesterday. During
In Maryland?
No, I'm sorry, not yesterday. Thursday. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
It took place Thursday. That, I mean, if you were watching Christian Conservative, KJ was completely knocked out of the show. She lost power. It has been, but the good news is because of that storm, it has cooled down now. It was 77 yesterday.
Yeah.
Topped out about 80 today. If it stays like this, I'm a happy camper.
I don't know, man. It might be God talking, man, because these storms are hitting these urban centers, bro. I was out here in the country. I don't think I got all that. I don't know.
It's interesting that you put it that way. I doubt if we'll be able to get into it tonight, but the Russian Orthodox Church is starting to believe that the earthquake, volcano, and tsunami that happened in Far Eastern Russia was a sign from God to punish Putin and encourage him to make peace with Ukraine. Yeah, some elements of the Russian Orthodox Church believe that. Yeah.
Wow. So I have to look at that because that's crazy. I mean, not to get. I mean, this isn't really a biblical show, but we can talk about it. But we do know that in the last days, the weather is going to change, and of course, the left and those godless people will always talk about how it's climate change, or they'll attribute it to something else. But there is evidence of misbehavior, right? Like there's evidence of a response to a nation rejecting God or rejecting truth or rejecting the right way. So I don't know, man. I mean, I say this about Baltimore too, because Baltimore, I do believe, has a dark history when it comes to
you've elaborated on that. That was some interesting history.
Yeah, so I did a short about it. So if you haven't watched it, check it out. But just to kind of break it down. I mean, when we talk about prayer out of schools, a lot of that argument started with, what's her name, Madeline Murray O'Hare, right here in right in Baltimore. The Ouija board was
That's what I was gonna bring
manufactured,
up, yeah.
and they had 7 or 8 factories around Baltimore City that distributed that across the globe. And then you talk about what was the other thing? So the Ouija board,
Ouija board.
prayer out of schools, and then there was one more
Something
thing.
dealing with abortion, was it?
Nah, not abortion. Man, I can't.
I remember you putting that up. I remember you putting that up. Yeah. Because I was sitting here like I did not know that Ouija board thing was wild to me. I'm
Yeah.
like, holy cow.
Yeah.
I said, that's where that came from?
Yeah,
Like, jeez.
yeah, the Ouija board came out of Baltimore, man, and like, people don't really realize that, man. But Baltimore, I think, has a dark cloud, and then I don't know, man. You know, some of these, and also it has a lot of churches, which is kind of why isn't this stuff changing, right? With the amount of churches Baltimore City has, I think it has like over 3,400 registered churches. At least that was the number 20 years ago. 3,400 registered churches, and you see the city in the state of what it is. So, I mean, there's a lot of, I think, blasphemy, but we'll talk about that later. But I do want to know, guys, one thing that you guys, before we get into the topic, I want to know, like, one thing that kind of stuck out to you this week, one thing that you learned, again, because our whole goal is, you know, just to equip people, men, fathers, our community with something that's actionable, and we can take back every week. But so what's something maybe you learned this week that is valuable that you feel like you could share and impart into someone else?
I don't know about how much interest others would have in it. I did learn something new. It's a theoretical physics technique that could be used as a weapon. It's called a dual vector foil, which basically compresses 3-dimensional objects into 2-dimensional objects. Could work on everything from atoms on up to a solar system. It's a weapon that's outlined in a book series called the three-body problem, which in and of itself is a mathematical problem that governs the movement of planets. So I just thought the dual vector foil was something that was very fascinating, and it also, I'm a big believer in there's a theory in the physics community that the United States government has hidden and walled off a lot of physics. They don't want other governments or individuals to be privy to certain types of physics. And so it always makes me wonder what they really have access to.
I mean, that is interesting. Because like when you think about like technology or who has access to what, you know, the first place the brain or people go is like, I got to protect this because someone will use it for evil, versus everyone else saying, hey, maybe we can find something good to do with this, right? So it's kind of interesting how that works. Like, have you guys watched that series called Prime Target on Apple TV?
I have not seen that.
No.
It's a really good series, and it was pretty much talking about like what would happen if you know, kind of discover the pattern of prime numbers, right? Because prime numbers is kind of like this idea that, and it's used in a lot of, like, prime numbers are used in a lot of encryption algorithms and things like that, because, you know, they're indivisible. Like, you know, what a prime number is.
They have unique qualities.
Yeah, they have unique qualities, right? So if you can determine the pattern to prime numbers, then you can unlock pretty much every digital lock in the world, right? So what would someone do with that type of technology, right? And the first thing you think about is to protect it, right? So the whole series is about essentially preventing, you know, this pattern from being found because of what it would do. And you kind of go through that moral dilemma of, well, this is something that should be known to everyone, right? Because what good could it do in the world versus let's constantly cover this up. So Reason, man, what's something that you've maybe gotten into this week, learned that you feel like you could share?
Well, to stick with what you guys are kind of talking about, let's see if I can. Doo-doo-doo. You know, I'm always talking about how small we are in the world. You know, and I put something in the chat for you guys a few weeks ago that's just like what you see on the screen right here, our sun, that center solar mass, how small we are in comparison to it, and to know that there are 5 to 15 other solar masses that completely dwarf us. We are literally a small speck of dust that's suspended in the universe at this period of time.
Wow.
You know, so it's crazy in my mind to think about that because it's I've always been one to think that to other species out there we're alien. So to say that we're the only ones that are in this gigantic, you know, gargantuan sized universe is I think is absolutely crazy. But you know, something a little more basic that I pretty much like to say all the time in the thought process. Ladies and gentlemen, do me a favor. Do not have court, and this is completely different, but do not hold court on the side of the road. That's something I know you guys probably know this, and Bling said once to me before, dude, I would never want to go driving with Reason because his thought process on how on your rights and all of that good stuff. But something that I have never ever done and will never do is hold court on the side of the road. There's a courtroom for that. They want to go home, you want to go home. Just get the ticket and fight it in court.
Great.
So, I mean, that's good advice, man. Just
It is.
yeah, just like live to see another day, right? That's the big thing, man.
For real.
Yeah. And don't turn a traffic offense into a felony. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. But you know,
I tell you,
again, I think that goes back to something that we were talking about a couple of weeks ago.
you got that right.
Right. Don't try to have
quarter
quarter asphalt. A couple of weeks ago, where I don't know, just there's something, and in general, you're talking about more or less African American culture, so to speak, because there's just that innate thing. It got to be dramatic, right? It has to be something. Something more than just the traffic stop, right? It has to be something more to the situation. So yeah, man, I agree. I think the biggest thing that I learned this week, man, I was listening to, I was on Instagram and there was this David Goggins clip that came up, and it was talking about how he was, he's pretty much doing the things that he's talking about, right? So the guys that approached him said, "Hey, give us something motivational." And David Goggins was like, "Man, I don't need your motivation is you go out and do it." Right. But when he was telling them, he was said, "God is watching me." Yo. So when he said that, man, it just like hit me. Like a lot of times when we hear that phrase, God's watching, it's more or less to keep us from doing something bad, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like keep us from sinning or whatever, like tell the truth or, but when he said that, it's like, God's watching you because you said you wanted to do something. You said you wanted to be better. You said you have a goal, right? So it's almost like that whole faith without works thing, right? It's like, God's watching me. Like when I go out here and try to, run a mile, 2 miles, that's me trying to exert myself and get better. God's watching me, right? When you're out here trying to build a business or company or what have you, go do the things because God's watching you, right? And it's like, man, that just, I don't know, man, that hit me. It was like it's just that whole mindset. We think that's a negative statement, but then when you really think about it, man. Like, the earth is the Lord's, the fullness thereof, and he's given us dominion over it. And like, he's watching you. That means like, it's like a dad watching you, like, go play, go enjoy. Yeah. And my son came in here not too long ago and was like, hey dad, can you can you watch me while I go outside? And it's just like that kind of thing, right? Because he wants to go ride his bike, he wants to go play around. It's like, yeah, yes, once I get off the show, I'll go out there and watch. So I just thought that was pretty interesting, man. Just go out and do what you got to do. God is watching you. God is with you. So whatever it is you want to do this week, let's get into it. But guys, we're going to talk a little bit more about this whole, I think we are at a point where we need a white town, and to be to be frank with it, like, because I mean, think about it, man. You can't be white in America anymore. You can't. What's the gentleman? The other, can we find that bodybuilder that just apologized to everyone
for his Hulk Hogan thing?
I know
he liked Hulk Hogan when he was growing up or whatever, and he made a comment and he said to all the coloreds or something like that.
I think that's it. Yeah.
And then he was supposed, Joey Swole. He didn't say people of color. He said colored people, right? Did y'all see that?
I didn't see it, man. I knew that he was tied up in some kind of controversy, and he was apologizing and backpedaling. I'm like, come on, man.
So you really can't be white in America anymore. And then especially,
actually, I got it if you want it.
Yeah. Go ahead and play that if you got it, man. Go ahead and play that, because that is, to me, that is hilarious. Go ahead and play this. Oh, he said colored athletes instead of athletes of color.
All of social media an apology. A few days ago, I reposted an old video of me in the gym wearing a Hulk Hogan Halloween costume on the day that he passed. Last night in my live stream, a lot of people expressed how upset and frustrated they were with me that I had posted that. Instead of listening and understanding like I should have, I became defensive and said that I was posting to celebrate the wrestling icon, the person that so many of us looked up to as kids that we grew up with, made us tear our shirts and take our vitamins and say our prayers. I didn't know to the extent of all the horrible things that he had done. Since last night, I have done a lot of research, talked to a few people, and learned all of the horrible things that man has done, which is way more than just making a mistake and being human. So because of that, I have taken the videos down, and I apologize to anybody that I offended. I am sorry. Also, during last night's live stream, I used the word colored instead of saying person of color, which is a very outdated, very offensive term. A few moments later, somebody educated me and told me that it wasn't okay to use that, which I immediately apologized to everyone and said I would never do that again. So once again, to anybody that I offended, I am sorry. My whole page, my whole brand is based on holding people accountable and doing better. I would be a hypocrite if I didn't hold myself to the same standards.
You can turn him off.
You know what?
Go ahead.
I think I'm contact him and tell him for a reasonable fee, I can be your black friend and guide you through all of these tumultuous, briar patches of. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Look, I knew Hulk Hogan as a wrestler, right? When I was a kid, we all would watch wrestling after we watched cartoons. Then we would go outside, or if it was winter, we would go like into the basement and beat the hell out of each other, just like we'd seen on wrestling, right? And it was fun. And honestly, I don't know what the hell did the Hulk Hogan do that was apparently so egregious. I don't know. Okay, he was a wrestler. That was it. And people need to really calm down, man.
They do, man. So, but you see this constantly. Like, there's constant drumming of, whites or this. I'm actually going to bring up some more of this JLP. We're going to go through, because like he had an interview with a young lady, and like at some point, like, how do you not say, I want to move somewhere else? right? As a white person, like, how do you say I want to keep staying here, where I'm just hated? They hate my religion, they hate my idea of family, they hate my idea of community. Like, at what point do you say, like, I'm going my own direction? So hold on, we're gonna start playing, and Chad, we can pause and stop it as we need to, but and then jump in wherever, guys, because this is funny, man. But I'm gonna play a few minutes of this, man.
They paid us pig feast and red beans and rice, but
No, they gave you a place to live and they bought you
7
food.
acres and a meal.
Right.
Did we all get that?
Everybody got it.
No, we didn't.
Welfare.
No, we didn't.
Welfare.
I'm from Altadena. We're middle class. Those people, they cultivated, I don't even know the word, but they cultivated the land. They built their own roads. They built their own schools.
Food.
That up in Altadena. The history of Altadena,
White people?
blacks.
Oh.
Altadena was middle
But
class.
this is not-
Pasadena was for the presidents. President Roosevelt, all of the presidents went to hang out and live in Pasadena. Altadena was a middle class. Nobody in Altadena was a slave. They gave us our freedom. So they cultivated.
So one thing they're not talking about, right? The first off, history lesson. She says she's a history scholar later on, but the Republican Party was founded to prevent the expansion of slavery in the Western territories.
That was the sole reason. Correct.
So when she's in California and she's talking about slavery in a state that never saw slavery.
Not, let me stop you right there. Not only did they not see it, but there are several cases where slaves arrived with slave masters in California, and California state law allowed them to be freed if they stayed in California.
So this is the educated population that we have right here, and I'm actually going to bring up a special guest too. Who joined us in the chat. What's up, Midlife?
Hey,
yo, thanks for having me. First time, I appreciate it. I saw Brandon Scott in the thumbnail.
And we're going to get to him. We're going to get to him.
I don't want to miss an opportunity to stomp on him because I'm in here, West Baltimore. This dude straight up said, it's my sole purpose in life to make white men afraid. He's in his feelers because they called him DEI mayor. Okay, that wasn't nice. I will admit. Was it racist? Probably. Sure, because we all know mayors are voted in, right?
Yep.
But to just sit here and say that, my litmus test is if you can't change the race of the phrase, could you imagine if I said it's my sole purpose to make black men afraid and I was a freaking mayor of a city? Like, it would burn down.
Yeah.
Right. So
the crazy part about it is he's going to wind up working for a white man over at Constellation Energy.
Dude, he works for white men now.
Once he's done with this disastrous mayorship.
Yeah, so I'm sorry, man. So
before you go, if I can quickly say, Midlife Bro Logic, welcome, my man. I know it is. You should have been on either Pop or this show, because I remember, like, it is a pleasure to finally. I follow your channel. It is a pleasure to finally have you aboard, my man. I just want to say that.
Oh, thanks, dude. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Did I lose Logic? I lost.
I don't know. I'm still here, man.
Okay. Oh, that looks like you got your other camera up. Well, I'm gonna. Okay, you're back.
No, my camera's. I'm fine, man. But speaking of Brandon, now everybody knows this is a Democratic town. Baltimore is a Democratic town. Mm-hmm. What part of West Baltimore are you in, by the way?
I mean, I live near Bon Secours. Are you in Baltimore?
Yeah, I mean, I still have a property in Baltimore. I live. I had it over next to Walbrook Junction in Mount Holly.
Middle River.
So yeah, you're Middle River.
Shout out to Middle River. No, well, it's called Life Bridge now. It's Bon Secours used to be.
Yeah, so you West Baltimore. You like
okay,
Baltimore Street.
So Bon Secours. That's Grace Medical Center. I'm a part of that. Yeah, because I'm Life Bridge. So okay, cool. So you're over there. Baltimore Street. You just said that.
It's near Holland's Market, Union Square.
Cool. That's a gentrified area over there.
It's not gentrified. It's 100% not me. I'm trying. I'm the one-man gentrification team. I'm trying.
They got the squatters over there, man. That's where they running electric from house to house and burning them down.
It's I mean, don't laugh too much. I don't want that to happen. It's kind of scary, but okay, yeah. There's some crazy stuff happening over here. That's for sure.
It's not funny, but yeah, I literally just moved out of the city like 2 months ago. Not
from where?
Like Mount Holly, Walbrook Junction.
Oh, I didn't grow up here, but I've been here for years now.
So at the end of the west end of North Avenue.
I'm sorry. It's fine. I believe you. I don't know where it is. I have to look at a map.
Yeah,
I know like Inner Harbor. I know Middle River, Towson, Owings Mills. That's like the county.
Oh, so yeah,
I know a few things. Brooklyn,
Okay.
Baltimore, which is kind of weird, but hey.
All right, but Brandon Scott. When you talk about Brandon Scott, he talking about working for the white man. We all know Baltimore is a Democratic town, and the election is the primary. The primary is the real election, right? So, as that being the election, right? You look at who voted for who in that particular cycle, right? So, in the primary, we've heard about the white L and the black butterfly. So there's this kind of theory in Baltimore that pretty much the white L is the center of the city down along the waterfront. East, like Canton, or along the waterfront, so that it's all populated by mostly white people. Then the black people are kind of spread out like wings from that. So the rest of the city, for the most part, just spread out from there. So when you look at who voted for Brandon Scott, it was mostly the white people in the white L, and the black people stayed home and did not come out to vote. So he was elected by the Roland Park types, by the uppity people in these kind of that white L that they love to hate. He was elected by those people with the Black Lives Matter signs that they use pretty much as their ADT system to keep black people from ramshacking their homes, right? That's where he won. Everyone else voted for Sheila Dixon or stayed home.
Guilty white liberals.
Yes. So Brandon Scott. So we're going to talk about him, but I want to kind of continue to build up why would white people want to continue to stay in communities that hate them, that constantly are demeaning them, and then I'm just trying to figure out why. So let's go back to this. You gonna hang on midlife? Because you're more than welcome to hang on.
Yeah. Let me hang on.
I do have a Brandon Scott clip that I want to play in a moment.
I'm your DEI hire for the evening.
There we go. All right, go ahead.
Being an American,
I'm not.
living a white American.
I'm not. I don't live in a white America. I do not.
Where do you live?
I live in a black America.
Is that in America? That's in
A black
America,
America,
right?
but in a black America, I don't live. There's no.
So, Tyrone, I mean, you're the soldiers of finance and actually the Prince of Tyronistan, or what are you the Prince of?
I'm actually the humble sovereign of Tyronistan.
The humble sovereign
Yes.
of Tyronistan.
Mhm.
Why is it that white America can't exist, but black America can exist? Because you heard the young lady, right? And this is a common theme. Why is it that they can say, or it's okay to say, I live in black America and white America doesn't exist?
Well, it's just more this manufactured, media-driven division that at its core keeps rank and file Americans divided and not focused on things that truly matter. Okay, for example, you mentioned finance. All right, so here in Maryland, we all have these increased taxes and fees in common, right? But we can't focus on that because Westmore is black, okay?
Mhm.
So it serves a political purpose. It serves right alongside Major League Sports in that it's a major distraction. Okay, bread and circuses, stuff is well orchestrated. And unfortunately, a healthy percentage of the population is so low IQ that they can't break through that and see that in actuality, black man, you have less in common with Obama than you do with the middle class white guy that lives across town.
And that was kind of my point last week. Why does Obama get to continue to keep his quote unquote black card when, it's like we have like the black community had like you said, has less in common with anything with him versus, just the average folk. But let's continue to look at some of this low IQ.
So you don't like the idea of White History Month?
There is no such thing as white history.
July.
There's no such thing as that, though.
July is White History
Just
Month.
because you say, and look, standing in a garage, you can stand in a garage all day long and say you're a Cadillac, but that don't make you a Cadillac.
8 years of White History Month.
But we don't know what history is there that the white people are supporting. What history? The only history the white people have is when they ran into the Capitol. That's the only thing white people will be known for.
The
reason. Come on, man. Running into the Capitol, is that the only thing they got?
No, quite frankly, the majority of all of the major inventions in the United States, helping the civil rights movement pass, just to name a few. I mean, we can't sit here and say, the problem is, especially here, and I don't know where this is actually being recorded at, but in a lot of these liberal areas, or a lot of these areas that are major cities that are liberally ran, have this, thought process that we are just, how do I put that? That we are like constantly behind. So we need to be pushed out. We need to be made this big.
So are you saying we as in black folks?
Yes. Black people. Yes, absolutely. 100%. Because there's this divide that's there. When people ask me, how do you, what do you call yourself, or how do you identify? I say American. And then I get all this hate because of it. Mm-hmm. I'm one of those people that it's like, I'm here. Like, I wouldn't want to be any other country in the world. There is no other place in the world I'd want to be. And no place is perfect, quite frankly. But however, we are at a specific point in history in which it's been the best for not just black people, but anybody, really. I mean, we have to be real here. This is the best part or point in time for anybody. And this is just going to be off a little bit. I've had a habit of saying in the past that if the United States falls, it will be, and this is what I said right before Trump was elected. If the United States falls, it will be this point in time that they look back at, in which we have this weird thought process in which we have no clue if men are women or women are men, or we can have men play in women's sports, or I can be a tree frog if I want to. So I'm just happy that, we have someone in leadership now that's bringing back some normalcy. And what is normal? Call it what you want. But my thought process is very simple. You look at what is, you can't look at the minority. You have to look at the majority of what's going on here. And the stuff that's been taking place the last 4-8 years that have made us into where we are right now, it's just it's terrible.
So and let me say, normal is an objective reality.
Subjective reality. Yep.
Objective reality. Normal is, I recognize the science of chromosomes, for starters, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. So shout out to Kung Fu CJ with the $2 super chat. How hold on, I want to do this one first. How many amazing does JLP say? That's amazing. And then shout out to Kung Fu CJ again with the $2 super chat. She sounds like Jasmine Crockett. I think, I mean, some people aspire to be that. And don't forget, guys, you can super chat the show. You can support us. You can also join the Shamers Club. Again, we're here to bring back shame. All right, so I want to go ahead and continue to get a little bit more of this because, man, just go ahead and midlife bro logic. It's two logics on here. No, I'm the real logic. No,
You call my name's Barnabas. You can call me that.
Okay, all right, Barnabas. All right.
Copy, hitting it up.
This white men found it and created the greatest country.
They didn't
on
create.
the
What
planet.
did they create? Did they make
America.
Did they make the flag? Did they make roads? Did
Let me
they
ask
make
you this.
school lessons?
Let me
Did
ask
they
you
cook
this.
food? Black people did all. Indigenous people did all of that. Indians,
Black
Asians.
people didn't do that.
Yes, we did.
Uh-uh.
Black people were the first people of fancy
black people
dining.
don't
No
build,
white
they
person
just-
knew how to cook for themselves.
Black people don't build, they destroy.
Every slave worked in a house.
Black
So no
people
white
don't-
person
wait, hold on a
cooked.
minute, hold on.
Okay, go.
Hold on. Black people
I know.
don't build, they only destroy.
No, we don't. Some do. Some do.
Most
White
do.
people only destroy. We could say the
No.
same thing about white people.
But let me ask, do you love white people?
I do not.
You don't love white
I
people?
do not.
Are you a Christian?
What is? Yes, I am.
How can you be a Christian and not love white
I
people?
love Kurt Franklin. I love Juanita Bynum. I got
No,
black
but
people
why,
to
how
love.
can you be a Christian?
What do I love about a white?
But so the end of your name, bro, logic, like logic. There's logic in your name, but what logic does she possess, right? Because it seems like she's kind of jumping around. Like how? I don't even know if I can frame a question because she's so dumb. But how do you respond to this midlife, bro?
Well, at risk of getting in trouble and being treated like Hulk Hogan, I think
Well, as long as you don't apologize, man.
Don't worry about it. We're a First Amendment. We're a First Amendment.
Okay, I appreciate
Say
that.
what's on your mind. Absolutely, we're big boys. All of us.
It's when you FBAs, we know how they came here, and that's not something to really be proud of, right?
Mhm.
As your own people, and it's not something that you really want to. It must hurt, right? And then when you look at the neighborhoods versus white people neighborhoods, there's difference. And it's got to hurt the pride, right? And that's not, it must really hurt. So it's cope is what it is. Copium, I believe they call it now. And they'll say all these things. White people didn't know how to clean themselves. I mean, we didn't know how to cook. That's a new one. I know that we don't have seasoning or whatever, allegedly, right?
So
I hear all
white?
these insults. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I hear all these. Yes, 100%. Maybe it's the lighting's wrong here.
Maybe.
How's that?
You're good, man. You're good. You're American, bro. You're American.
There you go.
Put a 1 in the chat if you thought midlife bro logic was white.
I was going
get
for
that.
Pacific Islander myself.
Oh, yeah, I get that sometimes. I've got some features going on, but it's just
boy.
something you
now,
say.
hold on, now it makes sense why you didn't know what Wahlberg Junction is.
Well, I'm not from Baltimore.
Go ahead, Go ahead,
If he
midlife,
was
man.
black, you would know.
Go ahead, midlife.
What is this? I don't know. Hold on.
If he was
You're,
black,
you're much better off not knowing or having any experience with Wahlberg Junction. You're ahead of the curve. Just
Never
go
heard
with
of
it.
Oh, you're good, man. You're good.
Never heard of
man.
that.
That's cool.
It's like when I look back to in my 20s, I would lie to myself to make myself feel better. Maybe I got fired, and I'd be like, oh, they don't know how to run a business. You know, I'm good. Why did they fire me? And then when I look back, it's kind of embarrassing. You look back 20 years ago, you're like, man, I was just a real pain in the ass to work with. I didn't fit in the team. I thought I was a good team player at the time. I worked hard, certainly, but if you can't fit in, and then it's just hard sometimes to assess yourself and look at yourself. And that's copium, something to make yourself feel better about it. I mean, it's like, okay, so listen to this. White people do it too, right? And I'll give you an example. White people never, there's no white boxing champions except for Russians, right? There's no Americans. There's 100-meter dash white, like never, I think, right? And then what do white people say? Oh, that's because the whites, they don't play a lot of sports, and we are good athletes, but we just don't put athleticism first. And it's like, maybe just we're not as good as athletes. Like, people say all kinds of things to make themselves feel better. So that's an example. That's what she's doing there. And in this climate, it's this open season on whites. It's changing.
Yep.
It's changing. It's changing as evidenced by black fatigue.
Yeah.
Right. And it's coming out now. And we're sick of Robin DiAngelo, and we're sick of just stomping on whites all the time. And we're sick of these whites. I presume you're talking about these Arkansas whites, and they want to make their little town, and it's racist. It's this, it's that. But there's Freedom Town. Do you know what Freedom Town is?
Exactly.
Yeah. Same
I
thing.
Talked about it before the show. Yeah.
Yeah. And everyone's like, oh, this is great because these white people, all these Karens are just ruining our great society. So that's my answer.
All right, let's keep going, man. But that's great, man. So we're going to actually get to that in a little bit. But I think we have to look at this because Jesse Lee Peterson is pretty provocative, right? He's going to say things, but he's been saying the same thing probably for the 30, 40, I don't know, 50 years maybe. So since there was black and white TV, Jesse Lee Peterson been saying the same thing, But when you see like kind of the reactions of people versus what he's saying and the logic they're using, it's like it just doesn't make sense. So let's keep going.
So what does white people do that's Christian-like?
How can you be a Christian and not love white people?
What do white people do that's
You're not
Christian-like?
answering that question.
White people used to put our mouths on a corner and kick our head in. How can you tie white people to Christianity?
How
do that?
can you love white?
How can you? I'm a history scholar.
You're not
Remember the
answering my
Lutheran
question.
chess?
No, hold on. You're not answering my question.
Okay, how can I love white people?
How can you be a Christian?
Okay, and love white people.
Not love white people.
How can you be a Christian and not love white people?
Right.
What do white people support as Christianity? I like my life. I don't like being lynched.
You're not answering the question.
How can I be a Christian and not like white people kill people? Does God like that?
Man, that was not fair. White people kill people.
That's a terrible example because that is probably the absolute worst example you can give, because if you look at Chicago, South Side, there are more Baltimore, we
Philly.
did for years. Why is 300 the number? For years. Why is 300 murders the number? How in the world can you say white people?
Look, I understand why he's doing this. Okay. But at the same time, us talking about it is kind of like an advanced alien species looking at an anthill and say, hey, I wonder why the ant turned left when the other three turned right. It's like, who really gives a shit what this woman thinks? Okay. She doesn't matter. She's not someone that's going to, on the one hand of society, we're talking about building a redundant planet on Mars. And on another, we got someone who is still so mired in the complexion of the epidermal layer that she's making up all of this stuff. White people couldn't cook until they had slaves. How the hell they survived up until that time, who knows? It's just absolute nonsensical trash thinking. And it needs to be called out as such. Now, he's doing a good job of exposing her idiocy. I want
you to hold on to that idea, right? Because you're talking about what's important to her versus the reality of what it takes to live. For example, like growing food, building shelter, providing protection, technological innovation, right? These things are important to, a thriving community, value, and they're driven by values, driven by character, driven by family. But at the same time, like, it seems like when through the course of this conversation, she's not really concerned about any of those things. It's all,
this woman
not
has
even skin deep.
A psychology or sociology degree. She works for some local or state government office. Okay. This is who this person is. Okay. Society is replete with these types. If we woke up tomorrow and there was an Elysium space station in orbit, she'd definitely be staying down here. Okay. So it comes a point where we have to say, we need to leave these people behind. Okay, if you're still stuck in the cave on this tribal bullshit, you need to be left behind.
Absolutely. So shout out to Kung Fu CJ with the $2 super chat. She's giving me a headache with some nonsense. So please take some Tylenol because we just got a few more minutes to get through, man. But let's go. Let's go ahead.
To live anybody.
As Christianity, I like my life. I don't like being lynched. What?
You're not answering the question.
How can I be a Christian and not love white people?
Right.
White people are murderers.
You're not answering the question.
How can I be how can I be? No, you don't like the answer I'm giving you.
How
I'm
can you
answering the question. You just can't see the
possible to be
answer.
a Christian and not love white people?
It's possible because God teaches us to love people who love back. God teaches us to give. God teaches us to give forgiveness to those who love. Okay, but God doesn't say to just love people who kill you.
God doesn't say to love
people that lynch you.
He said love your enemy.
Right, he does.
And you don't love
a white
your
person
enemy?
is not my enemy.
That's
The logic.
contradictive.
The logic.
They can't even get on a battlefield and actually, bro, they can't go back and forth and debate with me. A white person just looks at us and say, I hate you. That's all. I hate you.
Let me ask.
I hate you.
If it wasn't for white people building the greatest country.
You can't debate her because what she's saying makes absolutely no sense. There's no way to debate a topic that makes no sense.
In the world, where will you be?
White people did not build this country.
Where will you be?
White people did not build this country.
Where will you be?
I'd still be here because my ancestors built this. Yes, they did. I can give you the history. I worked for the NAACP for years. No, I worked for the NAACP for years. Altadena was built by black people. NAACP was built by Altadena was built by black people. Altadena was built by black people. So white people didn't build this America. White people did not build this America. I would still be here because my black ancestors built this America. No, I am calm.
Did you know that white people, the NAACP was founded by white women?
Did you know a lot of black people built the lands that you hang out on?
You're not answering the question.
Do you know the FBI was built just to break down the Black Panther?
You're not going to answer that question?
What question did you have?
Did you know the NAACP was founded by a white woman?
Oh, that's fine. But she probably was married to a black man.
So shout out to LL with the $5 super chat. Jesse Lee always says there's no racism. And there is actually a video of him calling a white woman racist in the street interview 6 years ago. Yeah,
I've seen that. His response to that was I was using their logic against him.
Yep. So he does say that, and I'm just 100% guys. Like Jesse is a friend of mine. Like I love Jesse. I've gone to LA a couple times to see him. Yeah, man, he was a big supporter when I ran for office in Baltimore City. So man, I like Jesse.
You ran for office?
Yeah, in Baltimore.
For what? Mayor?
City council president back in 2020.
Were you on the council?
No.
Oh.
They didn't elect a Republican.
Oh. I'll vote for you.
I appreciate it, man.
Let me know when you run.
Well, I'm out the city now, so good luck.
Okay, so never. Got it. Thanks for trying. I appreciate it. I registered as a Democrat just because of what you said earlier, because
primary.
Yeah, because of the primary, just to get rid of Brandon Scott. Anybody but Brandon Scott is my motto.
Absolutely. I don't know. You got to be careful with that nowadays.
He's done now, though, right?
No, he can run. He can do one more term because the term limits didn't start until this year.
Gotcha.
Oh, there's term limits? I don't even know this. Thank God I'm on his show. There's 3 term limits on Baltimore?
2.
Isn't this his 3rd? Didn't he already get 2?
So when was it Question K? When Question K passed in 2022, it went into effect in 2024.
Okay.
Oh.
Right. So 2024 was the start. So anybody elected, the city council president, mayor, and the not comptroller. What's the other one? The other
Ivan Bates?
No, not Ivan Bates, because that's a state position. What is it's the money person?
Treasurer?
Oh, I don't know.
Comptroller.
I'm trying to learn.
Comptroller.
Okay, comptroller.
Yeah, when the comptroller is elected. So all those three are those 3 council, comptroller, mayor are term limited to 2 years, 2 consecutive terms.
2 terms, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't know that, man. That's good to know. This Brandon Scott, people like him. It could get worse for America because he may keep rising. I mean, he was a councilman in his 20s.
Yeah.
And
no,
then
he
mayor.
is the golden boy of the Democrat Party coming up.
That's scary.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So let's keep going, guys. But just fun fact, it was my group that got term limits passed.
That's true. Yeah,
Um,
that's true.
so question. So peace, Baltimore. Man, you don't even know who you're on the podcast with, man.
I don't. Sorry, I'm learning, man. I'm learning. I'm impressed. I'm not worthy, that's for sure.
Nah, bro. This you're amongst friends, man.
Appreciate that.
So yeah, so let's go ahead and keep going, bro.
I'm just saying, let's go. Let's debate. You can't.
You're not
Are you
debating.
pro-white people?
You're not
Are
debating.
you pro-white people?
You're not debating.
Are you pro-white
No,
people?
no, no.
Are you pro-white people? I'm not against
You're
white
not
people.
debating. Yes, you
but
are.
No, I'm not. You're
You
just
said you
you're
don't
not
love them.
accepting my answers. No, you said how
You
can you
said
be
you
a
don't
Christian
love
and
them.
not love white people?
And you-
White people slaughtered us. White people
No,
put our faith. Yes, they did.
Not true.
Okay, well then that's your
Not
truth.
true.
My truth is different.
But you-
I would still be in America because
I think she said it all right there. My truth is different, right?
Right.
Because and we can get her away now. Because when you think about it, why is it that as a whole, black folks can have a long memory about slavery, about Jim Crow, but never about Democrats that did it, the KKK being an arm of the Democrat Party, the fact that there was a civil war that many white people died in to free blacks. It was a white president that signed the Emancipation, Proclamation that declared that the slaves are free, and later, white Congress and all these other people in positions that freed the slaves. Alongside of that, it was the cause of Christianity, right, that really pushed this as an issue, right? And why is it that black folks can have a long memory about anything negative, but never remember, or appreciate those things that really did
Well,
are blessings?
Some would say that those things that you mentioned are too far back in history, but to that I would say, well, okay, fine. Let's go back to the 1960s when Strom Thurmond, Democrat, still holds the record for the longest filibuster in U.S. Senate history. No, what Cory Booker did was not a filibuster. It was just a bloated speech, not a filibuster. So, the Democrats, Al Gore Sr. voted against the Civil Rights Act. Okay, the Democrats were dead set against that. The president that everybody on the Democrat side loved that just left, Joe Biden, he fought alongside Strom Thurmond to re-segregate the public school system. So this is who the Democrats are, but the confluence of miseducation and indoctrination has made folk not care, unaware. I don't know.
Interesting. Well, it's always wild when Jesse Lee jumps on here. I know you guys are probably fans of his or not, but I mean, Jesse's been around for a while.
I'm not really a fan.
Not really a fan. So
I'm
I
not
mean,
really a fan.
oh, well, okay.
He's
What do you-
okay. He's okay, but
for the ones who are on here, thoughts about Jesse Lee midlife?
He's kind of a guilty pleasure. He's too based. He's too much. I feel like I shouldn't watch him openly. Kind of watch him in the closet, perhaps, because he does go too hard. And honestly, you have to look at people's past. Don't forget, he is a baby daddy to an illegitimate child. And there are, in my opinion, credible questions about his sexual preference. Of course,
heard that before too.
Homosexuality doesn't bother me, or drag time story hour for kids, that's a problem, right? The whole gay question, I'm 49, and anyone that was gay, you could kind of tell, I think, or no one wanted to be gay back then. Like, it's cool now, but back then it was kind of a real problem. And I don't know there's still no answer as to what causes it. So I'm not castigating them. I do have gay friends, it's true, but I don't want drag queens putting children on laps and reading them books. I mean, it's crazy. It's gone way too far. But I think there's some skeletons in his closet. But yeah, I do like watching them from time to time. I love White History Month. I think it's great.
So you said you shed a tear that my White History Month ended, right?
It's kind of a joke, but you know, it's a fun time of year. It's fun to show a select group of people in my circle, hey, did you know it's White History Month? They're like, shut up. It's like, no, seriously. What are you talking about? Here, go ahead.
Let me ask though, right? Because a lot of the Black reception of White History Month is like, I mean, I ain't celebrating that. Like you know, so from a white perspective, right? Do you say, man, I ain't celebrating Black History Month? And I'm not trying to get you in trouble, but it's like it's kind of like if Black people can say, yo, White History, I ain't celebrating that. Why can't white people say, yeah, I ain't celebrating Black History Month either?
I have kind of a traumatic story about Black History Month when I was a kid, and I'd like to share it now. And it's really not traumatic, but I think it was in like 2nd or 3rd grade, and it was Black History Month, and they were like, okay, we know the deal, right? It's like Martin Luther King, especially in a white school, they never talked about Malcolm X. The only thing I ever heard about Malcolm X was he was violent, and don't read about him. Right? Definitely don't read about we didn't know Farrakhan. I don't know how you guys feel about that, or you know, obviously I'm not the expert. We just learned about Martin Luther King. He's like the best thing ever, and Carver invented peanut butter. Like that's the only thing I can remember from Black History Month.
Don't forget Harriet Tubman. I know they.
Oh, sorry. Yes, thank you, Harriet Tubman. She rescued 5,000 people single-handedly. Yeah, yes. And isn't she supposed to be on a $20 bill like 10 years ago? What's going on? But anyways. I fancied myself as a clever person, right? And the teacher said, it's Black History Month. And I think it was Miss Drumgo. She was Black or somebody. Who was it? Yeah, I think so. Can we name famous Black people? And I was, you know, oh, I'm smart. Let me raise my hand. And I knew what everyone was going to say, but in my mind, I was like, let me say something that's not said. And I was like, I know a famous Black person because I'm into music and I liked old music. I was like, Fats Domino, because I listened to big band music. I played the saxophone, you know, Blueberry Hill, all that stuff, right? And she looked at me like kind of crooked, and she like wrote it up begrudgingly, and then like she wrote all the 3 names, and then she's like, yeah, we don't, and then she like erased it off the board, and I was like embarrassed. So I don't know. There's that.
That was cold, man. Fats Domino, he had his contribution. What's up with that? Dang.
Well, I guess. Well, I could see how we need famous Black people who contribute more than sports and music, right? Isn't that kind of a curse, a blessing and a curse?
So
perhaps?
I've been saying this for past. We did an episode when we talked about Wakanda. I think Black Americans and Black people in general, or Black Americans, because this is where it's the most prominent, should embrace the role in entertainment. Right? I mean, we have other cultures. I mean, we talk about Jewish culture. What are they famous for? Right? You talk about Chinese culture. What are they famous for? You know, Asian culture, and then even some of the cultures from Africa or Jamaicans. What are they famous for? Just, you know, Hispanics. What are they famous for? Right? And I just don't understand why we see that. Well, now I'm starting to think, why do we see that as a negative? The general problem, I think, with the Black community is that we don't really. It's like we want to be so. How do you say it? It's not collective, but it's like we try to be everything in every part of the society. And what I mean by that, we have to be the accountant guy. We have to be, you know, the lawn person. We have to be the, you know.
We're not the only ethnicity to do that. Actually, Jewish people, as stereotypes go, they got some damn good ones, and they kind of blanch at some of the stereotypes that they are tagged with. Like if you say that they're good at the financial services arena, Okay, that can be, you might be walking a fine line with that. If you say that, they control large swaths of the entertainment industry, they might blanch at that, man. But these are good, like, and so entertainment, right? We're human beings, all right? So we need to be entertained. Okay, that's part of the human condition, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of money in it. So yeah, why is that necessarily seen as, a bad thing, right?
The problem
It,
is that we're so. I think and this is what it is. I think and black culture is defined as the way you do things, right? And I think black culture is so conditioned to consider everyone else an enemy that we don't allow that kind of melting pot to exist, right? You can have a black community and still leverage anyone else for your financial services, for your lawn care, for your development, like technological development. Like you can incorporate other cultures into what your goals are and still maintain a community. And I don't think black culture can see that part, right?
Well, I agree with you, because if you don't end up doing that, you become Dr. Umar Johnson.
I mean,
Nice, nice,
I mean, you're
nice,
right. So
nice segue.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Or thank you. Or as what midlife bro brought up earlier, or you could end up being oh, I'm sorry, I gotta pull that out first. Or you can end up being this place. Which, as of right now, current status, as of July, zoom in. I'll just read it. This is Freedom, Georgia. Current status, as of July 2023. The status, the settlement consists of a dilapidated campground, and its founders are working on establishing roads and utility service before beginning building residence. Currently, the settlement consists of more than 500 acres throughout 2 parcels. As of May 2024, construction for permanent dwellings on vital infrastructure has not begun. As of June 2025, no updates have been given to the future of the project, with the X account being deactivated and no further updates from any social media platform.
Okay.
Enough said.
Well, building a city is tough work, man. Just ask Akon.
I mean, it seems like we you can ask any. I don't know. I'm not gonna say.
But it's insulting. First off, when I said some people are known for sports and music, it's often associated with maybe not so smart on the other stuff, math, science, nation building. And then when you see this freedom or working together, I mean, with sport, team sports, obviously you have to work together. You can't win by yourself. But you talked about Akon, you talked about Freedom, Georgia. I don't know how this other town is, and there's some gossip about that, this white town that they're trying to close. But I mean, what are you saying there? God, I don't want to get in trouble, but are you saying that certain groups of people aren't good at building civilizations? I mean, is that where you're going?
Allow me to be a little more. Allow me to be a little elaborate a little more. Everybody is pissed about this all white town. Okay. Jesse Lee Peterson said, "What do black people build?" That's not a joke. That's real, and a real life proof being in the pudding is Freedom, Georgia. It still isn't anything, and they've had it for 5 years now. Akon did what and I was shocked by the whole Akon thing. But what's something that's a little more realistic, that's a little more apples to apples, is Freedom, Georgia, and this place in Minnesota. Arkansas.
Apparently, there's a couple of them.
Yeah. So the proof's in the pudding. I was sitting here like, so 5 years, you probably have to have something by in 5 years. You're literally set up to make sure that all the money that's spent stays in the community. But you don't have stores, you don't have gas stations, you don't have schools, you don't have roads even. So I mean, I'll happily say it for you. Nah, it's just some things that is statistically proven that some cultures just aren't good at.
No, no, hold on. Before we,
Oh, I'm sorry.
because I don't want to, I don't want to, I don't want to get misinterpreted, right? It
Correct me
hasn't
if I'm wrong,
always
but
been like this, right?
you're
When you
correct.
when you think about Harlem, when you think about
That's
Greenwood
correct.
District,
Mhm.
when you think about all these other things, right? That all these other shall I say black areas that existed, right? It was when you valued community, family, those type of things, right? You could build something. Now that whole value system has been depleted and it's gone. And you saw the young lady in the interview. What does she care about? She called herself a Christian, but said, "Oh, I only like the black Christians." Right? She called herself. She says that she's a history scholar, but completely misses 99% of the history of this country. Right? So and then she's there. I don't know her situation, but she has two young kids. It's like a Saturday afternoon. I don't know the situation, but you could presume there's a 70% chance that she's a single mom, right? So it's when you talking about building a community, right? It's not something that's quick. It takes time, and the foundational element of building a community, which is family, has been so far broken. So what I mean, maybe I'm talking about it both sides because I say, embrace what you're good at. But the other thing is, if when we had these black areas, those black parts of town, they were safe. We did have our own transportation systems, hospitals. I mean, right in Baltimore City, right across from Baltimore City Community College was the black hospital, right?
Provident.
Huh? Yeah.
It was
So
called Provident.
yeah, back in the day, right? And it was a black run hospital. But what happened to these things? You start breaking down the family. You start getting men out of homes, and then it all goes away, right?
Well, look,
Magically.
You mentioned something, and this is another piece that I think is missing, and may have critically been missing in the case of freedom, and that is, all right, New York City, for example. New York City is over 400 years old, just over 400 years old. Okay, so do we have it in our mindset to think about things in terms of not just the instant gratification aspect of it? So I'm going to build this city and I'm going to live here and I'm going to thumb my nose at the system. Or are you building it for some sort of long lasting legacy? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you go back and you look at sketches of what Wall Street, that area was. Okay. And all you're going to find is sketches because it was before photographic technology, of course. And then you look at it now. Okay. This, of course, took centuries to accomplish. Do we have the ability to say, you know what, I'm not going to get to see this. I'm planting the seed. I'm not going to eat from this tree, but I'm putting something together that future generations will be able to take advantage of.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I think it's more of the former. We're just doing it for instant gratification purposes.
And that's the problem. Yeah. And that's the
really
problem, that whole instant gratification, man. But I want to talk about Wakanda real quick because Midlife Bro is on here. I guess Barney, Barnabas. I see some people in the chat saying, "Glad to see Barney on the show." All right, that's
Nice.
cool. That's cool. You don't have a purple stomach, do you?
I'm getting call outs. I didn't even see it. Whoever's calling me out, thanks.
Yeah, Plasma Void, I think it was.
Plasma Void in the house.
Yeah,
Nice,
there you go.
nice.
All right, so we want to bring it to Baltimore real quick because Baltimore, guys, since the mid 80s, Baltimore City has been a majority black city, right? Yep. And since the mid 80s, when you look at the line of police commissioners, at least 13 out of the past 15 have been black, right? When you look at the line of mayors, I can't even tell, at least 8 of the past 9 have been black, and a few of them have been women. When you look at the state's attorneys, I mean, they've been black, right? When you look at the city council, majority black. When you look at
Police.
police, a majority black force. The school board, majority black. It's been a majority black city, right? Population. So why aren't we really seeing the Wakanda moment? But Brandon Scott he did an interview, and I saw this on Quintessential Gentleman, some I think Facebook account. But I want you guys to see what he says. And Midlife Bro, I go to you first to respond, and then Soldiers, we'll go right to you after.
To all the black people, all women, everybody that's being looked down and pushed down upon, that, especially those that live in those states below Maryland, come to Wakanda. Move to Maryland, move to Baltimore. This is your personal invitation.
Your second camera is like really throwing me off.
Yeah, your camera switch. There you
I
go.
don't know what's going on.
Okay, thanks. You want me to respond to that?
Yes.
I just maybe it's some type of bias that I have, right? I hate to sound like a white liberal, but I just and hold on, let me start with this. If we had a white man mayor and he had a ponytail, I wouldn't take him seriously. I'd say, this isn't a Grateful Dead concert. You're not a headbanger. Cut your hair. When I see Brandon Scott with whatever this is,
Yeah.
I'm bald. Yes, there's a bit of jealousy. Sure. I got a big bald head. I know I'm catfishing. Hat fishing, they call it. But I can't take this guy seriously with the hair, just right off the top. Secondly, I can't take him seriously if you watch him speak. When he wants to exemplify a point, he'll do this. You can't even help
I have
it. But
said that.
It bothers me so much, and I don't even like his body habitus. I can't stand it. Just his mere presence drives me insane.
You
I
notice
can't
he
stand
links to
it.
the side.
And I don't want a mayor to wear cool tennis shoes while conducting business. You can wear that when you go to a concert, right? If you wear a suit, I know it's this style. Maybe I'm an old person, but can you wear dress shoes? And dress shoes aren't like they used to be. You can get dress shoes that almost feel like tennis shoes nowadays. I want him to just dress right. As far as this Wakanda thing, let me try to think positive, right? So we live in, or I guess everyone knows Baltimore here or something.
Mm-hmm.
If you look in DC, PG County, there are some majority black places with sophisticated, great black people, right? Rich, hardworking, the kind of neighbors you want. And I guess he's trying to recruit. It doesn't piss me off as much as you think it may piss me off, because I think he's trying to start like a movement, like Atlanta. Anyone who's poor and of no means is not going to hear that and come out here. The people with poor and no means who are not going to go anywhere or do anything, they're stuck. But he may recruit this kind of bougie class, boule, or whatever you want to call it, and start a renaissance. It didn't piss me off. I didn't like it, but it didn't piss me off as much as you may think. So there's that. But I don't like Brandon Scott. Just let me reiterate that.
I got you. So Soldiers, I mean, you've moved out of the city. Man, you grew up in Baltimore. But let's look at this economically, right? He's telling people to move to Wakanda, move to Baltimore. Baltimore's the Wakanda, right? Now, little known fact, it is black people that are running from the city the fastest.
That's right.
And they're running from the city for generally economic reasons. So is he, I guess, to Barney's point, is he looking for a certain type of black? Or is it like, who is he really talking to here, especially when you consider this economically?
Look, first of all, the truth about Brandon Scott. Okay. Brandon Scott went to one of the schools in Baltimore City. He actually brags about being a graduate of Mervo High. If you know anything about the Baltimore City school system, Mervo has been a place that uh, has not graduated Frederick Douglass caliber intellects. Okay. Um, and he's proud of that for whatever reason. I think one of the things that pisses men like us off about him is that, as is the case with politics increasingly, men of no accomplishment are able to get into this field and then become stewards of billion-dollar economies. Okay. Uh, it's absolutely ludicrous. It's the furthest thing from a philosopher prince as you can get. Now, in terms of, why, who he plans to replace uh, the fleeing Black Baltimoreans with, if you notice him, he's got this kind of wannabe hip hop vibe about him. Okay. He's one of these cats that believes he's living in a nonstop music video uh, of his own making. Okay. He's got that kind of vibe to him. So he really doesn't understand macroeconomics. I don't even know if he really knows how to spell a word like that. He doesn't understand it to the degree that he really even understands where these people will come from, or who he's trying to recruit, or that he should try to retain his population, which is decreasing annually, by the way. Yep. Education, crime, taxation, the abusiveness and absolute apathy of the city workforce. Okay. He doesn't get any of that. So I just hope that Baltimore wakes up and puts someone of better quality in there next time. I don't know if that'll happen.
I mean, just to go ahead, Reason.
Yeah, if I may, if memory serves, I believe that Wakanda had trillions of dollars in vibranium. Like, so if he's saying that we are that in comparison, the guy, Bling, you're 100% right. He does not understand economics, period. Also, you have to take into consideration that I really don't think that Brandon Scott is thinking about Maryland in the. I think he's stuck on right now. What I do when it comes to leadership in any kind of place, whether it's like work or whether it's a community or whether it's a church or whether it's whatever, I really try to get people to think of it kind of like a marriage. When you get married, you're not thinking about what's going to happen right now. You're getting married because you're trying to put out a better brand of something into the future. And the issue is, I don't think that Brandon Scott is thinking about the future of Baltimore City. He's thinking about what I can get out of it right now. I don't think he's going to have kids that go to school here. I don't think he socializes here. I don't think he goes to church. I mean, I could be.
To be fair, Brandon is a Baltimorean. Brandon Scott is. He's going to do everything Baltimore. Like Brandon, he drinks the Kool-Aid. Like, so that is not the issue. You know, he named his babies Charm, and I forgot what his other kid's name is, but he is Baltimore through and through, right? Now, what he doesn't get, what I do think you are correct about is he doesn't really care about the future. He cares about his future, but not necessarily the future of the city. And let me give you an example why. So with this whole idea of juvenile crime and juvenile violence, right? They talk about the homicide numbers, which homicides may have gone down, but the crime rate is through the roof. Now, why does this matter, right? Because one, there's a lowered police force, so a lot of crimes nowadays really just go unreported. And two, the way they're reporting crimes nowadays is so, one, it doesn't show up on the FBI statistics, and a lot of it is happening with these juveniles, and they're just sending them home. I have it on good authority that Mr. Scott has text message threads with a lot of the youth in the city where he's communicating with them and they're saying, hey, Brandon, and they call him Brandon. Brandon is my bestie. Now, these are youth, 14, 15, 16, where they would go out, steal a car, and be home the same day, and then text, hey, yo, Brandon's coming by and seeing us later today. Right? So, and why that affects the future is because these are the children, the youth that are being now conditioned that bad behavior is okay. Someone's going to be there to get me out. I'm not going to have to suffer the consequences. And what that's going to happen on later in life, these young men generally get older. They keep the same patterns. So he's cultivating the criminals of tomorrow, right? So now crime numbers are down today, right? Crime numbers are down today. But then 4 years from now, 5 years from now, when he's not in office, these numbers shoot back up. Oh, and then everybody's going to say, oh, we need Brandon Scott back, or we need someone like him to come back and fix our city. When it's really just the Wire 2.0, they've done hid the bodies, they've cooked the books, and then when it comes out, all this gets put on the next person that's in there, and it makes it look like he, again, concerned about his career. It makes him look good versus anybody else.
Look, let's not shy away from suggesting that the crime numbers are being massaged. This is an issue that DC had that is verifiable. There was actual testimony to this effect by several whistleblowers. The declassification of felonies into misdemeanors and violent offenses into nonviolent offenses. So this is Baltimore, okay? As you mentioned earlier, I was born and raised in Baltimore. Logic Bro, North and Dukeland, which is a little west of where you are right now. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but that would be one of the mildest things that Baltimore has been guilty of. Okay, so you have this feeling throughout the country. We've talked about it on Soldiers of Finance a lot in terms of what's really going on with crime, and then you have the data that's being reported, and those two don't match up. I'm calling out Baltimore, saying that they are cooking the books on crime stats, and I hope more people start to raise that question and let them prove me wrong.
Absolutely.
But I think that's exactly what's happening.
Absolutely. Hey guys, make sure you hit that like button, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know when Just the Guys goes live every Saturday at 6:30. And also join the Shamers Club. We're here to bring back shame. And guys, we're talking a real talk tonight. So I think we're going to go ahead and get close to the wrap up. We didn't really get to talk about Dr. Umar. But Dr. Umar, he's been having some issues.
Ifatunde, what's his name?
Ifatunde. International Ifatunde.
Prince of Pan-Africanism. Right?
Papa.
This is the Prince of Pan-Africanism. This is your Prince of Pan-Africanism. Yeah. This is the Prince of Pan-Africanism.
No, hold up. I love talking about Umar. Please include me in this conversation. As a white man, I don't get to talk about Umar enough. But if I may, I don't think they're massaging the murder numbers.
Okay.
I think I dislike Brandon Scott more than all of you. But now you're putting me into this uncomfortable position. Murders are down. Brandon Scott's the mayor. Is he responsible for that? He has some. What is it? He knows all the criminals, and the criminals are on payroll, the ex-cons, and they're supposed to talk people down from shooting each other. Is that working? I know that the population is down, but I think last year it rose up a bit, right?
3 people.
Facts and effects. At least it's better than a drop. But murders are down. Brandon Scott's the mayor. hey, maybe he did something right. Maybe his methods
peop-
are.
The people
I'll
of
say this.
Baltimore elected Ivan Bates, who said, if you
That's
commit a
number one.
crime, you're going to jail.
That's
Ivan
number
Bates.
one.
Yeah, no, I love Ivan
Right.
Bates is a step in the right direction. I saw him down at that church. I went to that thing. I don't know what it was, a couple months ago, but yeah.
That's definitely the largest factor. But that's 1A. 1B, check the homicide rates in the surrounding counties. A lot of this stuff is just bled out, pun intended, outside the borders of, Towson is a wreck. Okay. It's a madhouse now. So a lot of this has just metastasized out.
But that's not Brandon Scott's area of influence.
That's true. That's
Maybe
definitely true.
I mean, did he do something to scare the criminals out?
No,
it has
not
to be
scare.
discussed. It has to be examined. But
He
if
voted for Ivan
we
Bates.
want to give Ivan Bates all the credit, I like that. That's a good cope. I like that.
No,
We also have to say the amount that is starting to cost in Baltimore. People just can't afford to live there. I mean, I did a drive from Sinai Hospital to Grace Medical Center, which was former Bon Secours. And I'm running up the street towards Baltimore Street, and I'm sitting here like, wow, this is a really dilapidated area. And then there are 4 $40 red light cameras on that street. I mean, so people are leaving not because of crime, but just because they can't afford to live there anymore.
Put it like this: if you have $100,000 house, your taxes in Baltimore City are going to be $2,248.
Right.
That's $100,000 house.
Right.
Imagine a $200,000 house.
Right.
A $300,000 house. Right. An average home price is what, it's $250.
Might be a little higher, yeah.
So it's when you think about pricing people out and what you get for that money, right? Are the schools the greatest? So you're paying a premium, the highest tax rate in the state of Maryland
by far.
Are your schools the greatest? You might have a couple that are doing really well, but for the most part, they're trash.
Your schools are excellent if you want your kid to be a gladiator.
Are your streets paved? Now, they've been doing a better job because BG&E came up and tore all the streets up, but they've also left a big mess in a lot of areas. So are your streets good? Do you get your trash picked up on time? Right?
Are you Philadelphia?
DPW or Department of Public Works has a ton of issues that seem to be more management related than anything else. Sure. So all these things that you're paying for, are you actually receiving the benefit is the question that people have to wrestle with. Now, the people that are coming to the city are those that say, I'm paying enough money to get away from the Negroes. Right? They're isolating themselves. People are moving in to the places that are considered the White L, Canton, up and down 83, right? They're
Charles
moving
Village.
into those places. And fun fact, here's a little Baltimore. Oh, redlining was the other thing. Baltimore founded redlining, but it was a Democrat.
Wow.
There's these things in Baltimore City called special benefits districts, where there's an additional tax, so that those areas of the city can have additional trash collection and street cleaning services of their own. So you talk about keeping certain people away from your community. Baltimore still has things to control a lot of where people live, right? So, I'm going to get off my high horse about Baltimore because I know. But shout out to Kung Fu CJ with the $2 super chat. Most Democrats don't understand economics, which I 100% agree with. But Dr. Umar is out here begging for money again. Who's giving to Umar Johnson anyway?
I know exactly who's giving to him. Lonely, middle-aged black women. They're keeping him in business.
So everyone does something, like from a psychological perspective, right? Everyone does something because it benefits them, right? It makes them feel. What benefit do lonely middle-aged black women get from donating to Ifantu Day, King Prince of Pan Africanism, Ifantu Day Johnson.
Well, you have to understand that he's been pandering and calling these women Queen Mother Earth and all of that good stuff for years and years and years. Okay, I mean, if memory serves, the only queen I know of that wasn't actually birthed into that position that could just pop off the top of my head is Elizabeth. She was presumptive. Heir apparent are usually men. You are king, and then you marry someone, and that person becomes queen. You are not queen, and just there. You know what I mean? It doesn't work like that. So when you call these people all of these different things to make them feel good about themselves, it's the easiest way. They understand that, you know what, 80% of consumer debt is women. So you know what, if we tickle their fancy a little bit, we're going to, you know, you're always right. Look for the guys that are going to do this and that. You're the queen of the earth. You can do whatever you want to in life. All you have to do is manifest it, think about it, and it'll show up, and blah, 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 and all of that crap that has nothing to do with any kind of logic or reason, pun intended. Then that's pretty much what's going to happen. You can pretty much extract anything you want. 3 things sell: sex sells, God sells. You could put anything, any scripture of any kind on any kind of t-shirt, and the Bible is probably the most purchased book in the world. Right after that is anything that involves pandering to women.
So I mean, he's been trying to build this school, right? That's that Tyrone. I think you agree with in principle, which is it's a completely segregated school, the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Institute, and I think it's supposed to be in Wilmington, Delaware. And it's supposed to open this year. Now next year, his accounts got frozen.
Yeah.
But let me ask, because I mean, there's a lot of things that Dr. Umar Johnson says that is somewhat believable or somewhat true, accurate, what have you. But why is it? Let me ask you this though. Why do you agree though, in some principle, with the school that he was trying to build?
I'm not sure if any of you are familiar with Marcus Klein out of Chicago. He's done a lot with African American boys and alternative education. I do not believe in the public school system for a variety of reasons. Number one, it was developed off of a Prussian model that was the intent was to just create followers, okay, obedient assembly line workers and military enlisted folk. That was basically it. So I've got the problem there. And then if you look at modern day American education, a lot of people make a big deal about what Trump is doing in the Department of Education. When, as ranked by the State Department, we're not, and this is in conjunction with the UN, we're not even in the top 10 in terms of math, reading, and writing test scores globally. Okay. All right. And this is since the establishment of the Department of Education in 1978 by Carter. So, what the hell is going on here? So, my thing is, I don't want to fight the school board. I don't want to show up at the mic and complain, because what's happening there is you're getting up being passionate, and then the next day you're sending your kid back to the same system that you admit is failing. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm all for alternative forms of education. So in terms of the concept, yeah, okay, sounds intriguing. But the execution by him is right. It's just totally lacking. And now here we are years later. I think it's been exposed as actually a grift for his personal financial enrichment.
Mm, mm. Do you think
If
he
I
was trying to
may,
take money from white people, or is it
Yeah,
his own
take
community?
it as long as it's green. Just send it. Doesn't care who sent it over.
All right, go ahead, right?
so I would wonder if that's a right now thing, because you say it's a grift, and it might be, it might not be. I can't necessarily know for sure, but I do believe what the S file says. If it's is correct, if God wanted that school to exist, it would. Just a thought. But being the prince of Pan Africanism, the prince of Pan Africanism, the prince of Pan Africanism. Being that, he's talked about for years that he only accepts money and donations and work from Black people. If that's true or not, I don't know. But all I know is that Logic and I was talking about this a couple hours ago before the show, that there was a couple who did a documentary a couple of years back, maybe 4 years back, and they said, we are going to go all Black. We are going to, everything we buy will be from Black owners, Black vendors, Black this, Black that, all that good stuff, to see what it's like. And they had to prepare a year in advance of this. So if it's that difficult, I mean, yeah, Logic made the joke that, yeah, they had to drive a state away to get gas. It costs more money to get the gas to get there than to. So how they got around it was what they were purchasing gift cards for the. But if it's that difficult that you have to literally plan out an entire year to have something like this happen, I don't find it all that, I don't think it makes, or it doesn't make that much sense that
Listen,
it's
if
taken him this long if he's only getting Black plumbers,
yeah,
Black, Black black, all the Black work, and taking only Black donations. That's just how I look at it.
To me, and I don't want to monopolize this. I want to hear from others on this, but to me, the whitest man in America is Mike Pence. If Mike Pence sent him a check for $100,000, he'd cash it. Okay, he had Mike Pence's picture on the check. He'd cash it.
Okay.
Said, read an elementary test from 100 years ago. 98% of college students could not pass it today. That's right.
That's an interesting concept.
I mean, I like looking at like reading the presidents and studying history a little bit more than I did when I was growing up now. And a lot of the presidents, went to like private not when they have like a religious sect. What is it when a school has like a religious attached to it? Sectarian school. So it had, they went to some religious type school.
Okay.
And a lot of the textbooks that they used were like this thin. Like the elementary textbook was like this thin. And I bought one. I bought one for my kids. Like the New England Primer was one of them. And it's really teaching kids like how to break down words, the syllables, repetition, and it also incorporates Bible verses, right? And that's how kind of they're learning not only to read, but basic moral principles, right? Because, I mean, regardless of you're Christian, regardless of, you believe in God or not, do unto others as you have them to do unto you. That's just a basic human principle. We talk about human rights and all these other things. That's just a basic principle. But these were the things that would be incorporated into the text. And it's only this thin, but it produced presidents. It produced some of the greatest thinkers that went on to learn things like Latin and Greek and Spanish, what have you. But I just think it's, interesting how we forget all of that. And these big textbooks nowadays that kids can't learn a thing. Right, but let's get back. I don't know where I'm going.
I'll if I can, and I'll shut up after this. For those that do know me or don't, my wife and I homeschool. So for our daughter's previous year that just took place, I sat there and I looked at, and it's a religious homeschool. I'm sitting here like, man, the amount of books that they gave. I'm talking, it's not online stuff. It's the only thing that was online was when we're scanning in the stuff to get sent back to be graded and all of that good stuff. You know what I mean? It is what they're teaching homeschooling versus what these kids get in public school. I'm telling you. I'm sorry.
So we got all off. We got off because
I'm sorry.
yeah, but point being, right. I think kids are taught best like in the community. So we were making a point about the segregated schools, which I think does have some benefit. I remember talking to my grandmother, and she said, "Yeah, I went to an all black school and we loved it. We learned. She became a functioning member of society. She knew how to read. She could balance her checkbook." And there was a lot of pushback when they forced the integration of the schools. But she remembered growing. She went to a in all black school. But midlife, bro, man, you got any response to before we kind of put the bow on it? You got any response to
sure. Is this a pro segregationist movement you're starting here? It sounds like you said that segregation was great, families were better, father was in. We've heard this speech. It's not the first time I've heard it, but growing up, segregation is evil. We see the German Shepherds, we see the fire hoses, we know who the Freedom Riders are. People gave their lives for this. Martin Luther King dead. Are you pushing for segregation? I guess. And now we have Freedom Town, and then we have Return to the Land.
So let's look at Booker T. Right, Booker T was someone who said, develop a skill. Right, develop things on your own. Right, because that's what makes you marketable. And he did this in the Deep South, where segregation was a thing, right? And they just freed from slavery, and he built this institute, which was built upon self-sufficiency, self-reliance, and it wasn't about trying to make someone like you. It was about being a producing member of society, right? And when everyone, let's look at Sunday morning. Sunday mornings is the most segregated day of the week because white people go to a church, black people go to a church, but we don't have an issue with that, right? And what Booker T was saying things like, let's build our own. Let's build our own. We got black people now trying to say, let's build our own, but they're doing so with no skills, right? So when you're asking, am I pro segregation? I'm just anti forced integration, right? I don't think we should have been forced to integrate, and I think the natural progression of being able to provide a valuable skill to the marketplace would say, hey, those guys over there are good at that. Those guys over here are good at that. I need something done. Let me trade my wares, trade my skills, and we have a thriving community, right? And you still go back home to your black neighborhood, which can look great. It can be fine. I just don't. I think it was the forced, and we could talk about it in a second, but I just think it was the forced integration that was a terrible thing. How do you respond to that then, Midlife?
Well, I recently was perusing through Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it. And as you can imagine, I see some spicy memes and pictures on my feed. And I saw something recently, I guess it was Brown versus the Board of Education era or something of that. And I saw these white people, greasers, right? With the hair. I don't know where it was or where the picture was from. And then I saw this army guys with guns and bayonets. And they were not stabbing them, but like, of course, we know about Ohio, Kent State. They did shoot them, but that was Vietnam, of course. And they were like hurting them, and underneath it said, "Sorry, white man, you can't decide who gets to live in your neighborhood." And I don't know. It kind of stuck with me a certain kind of way, and I can't imagine having a segregation. I don't know how that would happen. So this is where we're at, for better or worse. And I maybe drank the Kool-Aid, and I don't think we should be segregated. So I guess I'm a bit uncomfortable with it. Maybe I'm a bit of a snowflake. I mean, we are segregated financially, gated communities, neighborhoods. I get that, but
let me ask.
But what kind of can't you have the virtues of Booker T while in a mixed community? Can't you be self-sufficient in a mixed community? I mean,
of course,
it would be crazy to like it. This is the kind of talk that I only heard like Klansmen saying on these documentaries, and they would draw up these maps, and they're like, "We're going to give the blacks the South," and they'd have this map, and it's like, and then they can have California, and then we're going to take all the Midwest, and something like they had some whole plan, and it's like, it just sounds, I don't know, I'm a bit uncomfortable with it. Maybe I'm a snowflake, like I said, but you can't. And I guess the other thing I want to say is, what's that Stevie Wonder song? Like Pastime. Oh, God damn it. What is that song?
Ebony and Ivory?
No, not that one. Well, Pastime Paradise, I think it's called, or something.
Part-time lover?
Pastime Paradise.
Okay.
Did we look back with rose-colored lenses? Was it really that great back then? Were the communities really that strong? Was it as good as it seems? I mean, the numbers,
was it all romanticized, right?
Yeah, perhaps. Was it romanticized? Separate but equal wasn't equal, right? I mean, that's true, and that's unfair. So, or am I wrong with that? I don't know. I mean, I've been lied to about everything else. So what is it?
Can you be a part of that? Isn't being a part of that only if you actually make the choice to be a part of that? I mean, if I say I'm going to the store today and it just so happens that I end up in a store with a whole bunch of black people that are there, maybe that's the store I like, but I'm not a part, choose not to be, or don't even think about the aspect of the possibility that it could be a segregated place. I don't go around thinking I'm going to go to just be to this place because it's black owned. And I do like to support businesses and stuff like that. But generally speaking, the majority of the time, my thought process is I'm going to a place in which I can get good service relatively quickly and have no issue giving my money in the process. My wife literally went to a place here in Baltimore in which it was black owned nail salon. And she's like, "Hey, I'd like to get my nails done." And the chick there gave her an attitude. She was like, "I'm trying to give you my money for a service." And it was so, quite frankly, I mean, I don't even think anything having to do with that whole segregationist aspect would truly work, because I don't think we love each other enough to even give good service.
So, look, man. Again, I'm not pro segregation in the sense of it needs to be forced, but I'm also not pro forced integration. I'm more just let things naturally happen, and they will naturally happen. What happens naturally on Sundays is black people go to black church, white people go to white church, and then there's some churches that both white and black people go, right? Mm-hmm. In any, if you go, why do we still have white neighborhood, black neighborhood, right? And it's because it's just a thing, right?
No, I think that Midlife Bro hit on the fact that a lot of the segregation we see today is economic based. Okay.
And values.
Say again?
And values.
Yeah, but you're not living in certain neighborhoods, be you black or white or whatever, unless you have a certain credit score and a certain amount of money coming into that household. Okay. So you've got white folk living down in South Baltimore who are some of the poorest people in this country. Okay. And then you've got some black folk living out in Potomac, okay, that are setting the world on fire. Okay. So you're not getting into that latter neighborhood unless you also meet certain socioeconomic criteria. So look, freedom, this town in Arkansas, honestly, this stuff is interesting, but it's not the norm. Okay. We had this spot down here where this lady was doing this seafood. And when she opened up, she put up black owned business. And forever I stayed away because I'm like, if that's what you're leading with, I got to question whether or not the food is good. Okay. Somebody said to me, hey, have you tried this place? Her food is excellent. I said, oh, I wasn't planning on it because she was more interested in telling me she was black than how the hell the crab cakes tasted. So once I figured out that she did indeed have great food, but she didn't lead with that. So it's like, look, guys, this is about money. Okay. All roads lead back to the almighty dollar in some way, shape, or form. And we're segregated based on social, like Carnival Cruise. You want to take a low-cost Carnival Cruise these days? Anybody want to raise their hand and do that? Okay. Or do you want to pay a few extra bucks and get on a Celebrity or a Norwegian, right? Okay. So look, it's all about the money at the end of the day. And if people want to self-segregate, hey, this is America, do what you want to do, but you are going to be locked out of some of the conveniences and some of the necessities. I don't know how the hell this guy in Arkansas expects to get emergency services out there to him right now. God forbid a black EMT shows up, right? So
I didn't think about that.
right.
I mean, what's the
That's
likelihood
hilarious.
of that, though?
That's hilarious.
But let's go to the
Oh,
white
boy.
town real quick, just in case people have forgotten. I'm gonna go ahead and play this clip. It's a short clip.
A group of white supremacists has founded a 160-acre settlement in the Ozark Hills for white people only, and it's called Return to the Land. It was set up in 2023 by two men named Eric Orwell and Peter Cesare, and it explicitly bans Jewish people, LGBTQ individuals, and anyone who isn't a white Christian of European descent.
Okay,
So
I'll stay away. Okay.
They have their metrics. No.
I saw something in the chat earlier that said, and I don't know what it was. The question was, can you is segregated schools illegal or segregating something legal? I saw something, and my thought process was specifically for this, what we just saw. They're advertising themselves as a private entity that you need to pay to get into. And I believe if you have to pay to get into something and they choose to accept you based on your payment into the club, so to speak, I think that makes it legal. I mean, and if they choose to take your payment and make you a part of their society or not, there should be nothing wrong with that. It's a private property.
So personally, I do not see a problem with this town. I have absolutely no problems with what's going on. And just, to piggyback on something S-File says, are they actually white supremacists or has the media decided to say they are? And I believe that's a great point because I think just the media has decided to call them white supremacists. I mean, they say live and let live. I'm not coming to destroy your community. I'm not coming to, impose my beliefs on you. But that's not how they're received when they're going about this kind of plan. Now, they've bought some land in somewhere where there's not a waterfront property. It's not there's not some major club that people are dying to get into. There's not, an amusement park on the land where, it's open to the public, but not you. They're building a community based on their values. which, quite frankly, a lot of us are attempting to do, right? A lot of us are saying, I want land because I want to be around people that, or not be around people, or be able to control or have some say in the people that I'm allowing around me because of the amount of land I bought, right? A lot of people nowadays are saying that, right? And I just don't get why is it again that it's an issue with him and these two gentlemen that started this whites only town, and they have their kind of criteria for checklist. When you have mayors like Brandon Scott saying, come to Wakanda because this is where black people need to be, and no one has an issue with that, right? So Brandon Scott is literally trying to make a black city, and just like Midlife mentioned earlier, he has literally stated it is his mission in life to make white people feel uncomfortable. This is his stated mission in his life, and he's the mayor of a major, maybe minor,
No, it's
American
Baltimore's
city.
a major American city.
I mean, it's moving down, but you know.
Now, we got the port. We got proximity to DC. Baltimore's a major American city.
I have to ask you, Bling, what is Tyronistan?
Tyronistan is a state of mind primarily right now. We are we welcome any and all, but we do have an IQ test over in Tyronistan, though. We do that. You can be a resident with a low IQ, but citizenry, it might be out of your reach, you know. So.
Wow. Midlife, I see you got something at the bottom of the screen. Something you want? What you trying to talk about?
Well, it's of note. I'm not exactly happy about it because I guess deep down I do admire these white guys for making their own little city, but they extol these type of values, Christianity and whatever. I'm not an expert exactly, but apparently he used to do OnlyFans with his ex-wife, and that's just wanted to put that out there just to make sure we have all the information.
Oh wow!
So,
And now what website is that from?
this is from Daily Mail, which is that English thing, I think.
Cool.
Yeah,
Right.
pretty credible.
Validity there. Okay.
Yeah.
And how long ago
All
was
right.
this?
Yeah.
Now let me ask. If this is true, like, can he be redeemed by the white population? Does he need to come out like Joey Swole and apologize?
No,
Or
there's
can he ask God for forgiveness? Like, what is it?
There's a question we need to ask first. Were any black men involved in this porn?
It's a good question.
Okay.
Yeah, if he's into that, he's a no. He's out. He's excommunicated.
That would ruin all credibility of any kind. Like
Right.
I didn't even think of that. Thanks for mentioning that.
Cracker Town sponsored by OnlyFans.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Shout out to the S Files. Shout out to all of our mods. S Files is one of the original entries to Tyronistan. She purchased her passport a little while ago.
Yes.
She's now one of the. She's got dual citizenship. I have.
As do you, sir. As do you.
Thank you, because I've been rejected twice.
No, you're one of our leading citizens, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I was like, what do I have to do to get into Toronto, man? But just to give a quick shout out, you guys, we appreciate you for being here. We are the Thursday night edition of MCM's every single night of the week.
We Saturday, man. We're Saturday.
I'm sorry. Saturday night. Forgive me. I was thinking about going through the list. Wow, it's terrible. But yeah, so we are Saturday night, but don't forget, of course, tomorrow we have Christian Conservative on Sunday at 9, then Poppin' Politics on Monday, then All American Talk Show on Tuesday, then Poppin' Politics on Wednesday, then on Thursday we have the Christian Conservative, then on Friday or Saturday night we have Poppin' Politics again, and Saturday always 6:30 p.m. We are Just the Guys podcast. So just a quick shout out to you guys. We appreciate you and thank you for hanging out with us this evening. As always,
hold on. Hold on.
I'm just saying thank you. What are you doing, bro?
You sound like you just closing the show.
No,
man.
I am just saying thank you to everyone and putting in a quick, because I noticed we gotta like, share, and subscribe. We have to put that in there.
Man, we haven't done the Bring Back Shame clip of the week yet.
Hey, look, man, I ain't say nothing about it. I'm closing nothing. I'm just letting everybody know.
We gotta do the
bring up JT
every
Thompson's
single night of the week. MCM's every single night of the week.
Bring up JT Thompson's last comment.
Boom.
Not that one. Segregation after dark.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the name of the series that the guy. Yeah, segregation after dark.
All right, guys.
Hey, look, I was trying to pass this test, bro. I'm serious. Some of the questions he be asking makes absolute. I sit here and I go, well, damn. I'm telling you, S-Files got it on the first shot. I don't know what happened.
All right, guys. We are going to have merch soon. So be tuned. Stay tuned for that. Don't forget you can join the Shamers Club. And guys, remember we got to bring back shame. So this is the Bring Back Shame, the clip of the week. Midlife, do you practice any faith? Are you a man of faith or anything like that? Just quick before I bring this up.
Not so much. Sometimes I go to church or some type of place. I'm waiting for the burning bush to speak to me. It hasn't. Of course, I don't believe in the Big Bang Theory, so I'm always holding out on something better, because the Big Bang Theory is ridiculous. I don't know what created us all, so I always do wonder, maybe you will be the conduit who leads me towards God now, perhaps. I don't know, but I'm ready.
Well, we're going to see, right? Because this right here, this Bring Back Shame clip of the week, I don't know if this will help, actually. Christianity has become weak. So I'm about to play this clip.
It is. Yes, absolutely.
Who are you wearing?
We're wearing GB Couture.
GB Couture?
Yep, all three of them.
So what inspired the look today?
This is all queer owned and styled by us because we are the first non-binary and openly queer group to be nominated in the gospel category.
Oh, well, congratulations. And what's the name of your group?
The Harlem Gospel Travel.
Now let me read you something that they said. Now queer people get to see us, young black people get to see us, Christians get to see us, and that's busting down doors and breaking glass ceilings. There you could see them singing gospel songs.
All right, guys.
Let me just say, if this was a Islamic award ceremony, they would accept their award from the 9th floor of any given building in Yemen or the UAE.
MCM,
and that's just how it is. I mean,
MCM does not necessarily agree with all the views represented on this podcast.
I'm stating facts here, guys. I mean,
reason.
I have no words for this. If this is a representation of what Christianity, I seriously hope that this is not a representation of what Christianity has become. I mean, I know for a fact that God has never been a God. I do not remember seeing a single scripture in the Bible where God shows he's a God of tolerance. You know what I mean? How in the world, the reason that Christianity is joked on the way that it is today, the reason it is the laughing stock of religions here in the Western culture today is because of this.
So Midlife, you go to church, you see that group on stage singing, and then they're proclaiming they got nominated for a Grammy and gospel album. Does that help you in any way?
Does it help me? It helps me decide that if I'm going to go to church, that's not the one I'm going to. Sure. So yes, it does help me in some way. I think back to what Tyrone Man said. It's true. The Christianity in America check out Christianity in other countries, right? Because they go hard in the paint. But Christianity in America, it's not as strong as the Muslims, right? And a lot of these Christians, they long for the patriarchal father. They want their women not to dress like sexy red. And what do you see in these Muslim communities? They have a strong father in every home. The women, I can get with some of this stuff, honestly. Like, I get it. Like, when I was young, you know, and when I see a woman in a hijab or whatever, I kind of look at it funny. But then when I really think about it, I'm like, you know, if I was married, you'd save money on clothes. You just wrap her in the same thing. She's not out here showing off her bits, right? And if you take it a step further, she's not even allowed outside unless she's with her father or brother or me. It's not all bad, that, right? So Islam is taking over. Be prepared. It's not all bad, but it's going to take some adjusting to do. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this is the kind of the point of what you know the show is for, man. We got to bring back shame, because at some point this behavior should have been shamed. Now, granted, there is a way to do it with compassion and love. However, it has to be done. And what we've accepted now is like we Christianity, men, you know, culture has to be tolerant and cater to lifestyles that are actually detrimental to things like reproduction, detrimental to the family unit, detrimental to you know, self-preservation. And we have to really call these things out, really examine and call these things out, and really understand, like, the seeds at this point have been planted. They're not babies anymore. They've grown full roots. And that's why I do believe with this thing like the white town, like, you have to not try to change the culture that exists, but now build your own. We are at that point where we have to build our own communities. We have to instill the values in our children. That's why, you know, we need more families. We need more people having two-parent households, having children, instilling values in their children, having things like dinner together. Just do things like that, because we do have to return to family, order, growing our own food, becoming self-sufficient, knowing your neighbors, being able to develop a cohesive community of values, you know, the culture, those type of things. And it doesn't matter the skin color. To me, it doesn't matter skin color. It doesn't matter, you know, anything. It does matter your values. But again, we got to call this stuff out, because these are things that have planted seed, taken root, and are really harmful and detrimental to the community. And now it's way past making a mockery of the church, making a mockery of Christianity, making a mockery of men. So we have to call this stuff out and do something different, build our own communities. And again, that's why I'm not opposed to what they're doing in the Ozarks, because it is an example of what we should be doing. Maybe, you know, we don't have to say whites only, what have you, but it is an example of what we should be doing, and which is building our own communities, buying our lands, cultivating, training our children, and moving from there. But I'm gonna get off my high horse on that. Closing thoughts, guys. Midlife, we thank you for joining us, man. Where can people find you? What's going on, man? And you coming back next week? You know, what's the deal?
All right, I'm not a religious man, but I do have a Bible, and if I could quickly read my favorite verse.
Sure.
It's Timothy 2:12. I do not permit a woman to exercise authority over a man. Rather, she is to remain silent. So check it out, Timothy 2:12. I think that's the problem. Anytime I see a female preacher, that's a no. That's an immediate and permanent no. So there it is. But thank you for letting me talk about my show. Midlife Bro Logic has a new marquee show. Thanks for asking. It stars lawyer chick who was in the comments, a real lawyer. She's a real woman. And we go Monday through Friday, 9 to 10:30. We talk 9 to 10, and we kind of open the panel at 10 to 10:30.
Also
so we're
on
trying to
YouTube?
keep it short and sweet. Midlife Bro Logic on YouTube. Also, my co-host name is Lawyer Chick or Lawyer Chick 5000, I believe.
Gotcha.
But just pull up and we'll be there, open panel for the last 30 minutes. Check it out. I do appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for having me. I had a great time.
Oh,
Shout out to
absolutely.
Baltimore, and anyone that doesn't like Brandon Scott is a friend of mine. Straight up.
Absolutely.
A-okay
man,
with me.
We've seen you in the comments too, man. So shout out to you, brother.
Absolutely.
Reason, man, what's going on, bro?
Well, as always, it's a pleasure to be here, you guys. Shout out to MCM. You'll catch me pretty much almost every single night of the week. I cover every single show that MCM does. I'm just glad that Gimpy, we miss you, bro. We'll see you when you get back. And he was in the comment section tonight. Also, we just appreciate all of our moderators and all of our everyone from the Shamers Club. We appreciate you all. Thanks for the support. We have our merch coming up soon, so look out for that. And you know what? Just continue to stay safe and live life one day at a time. That's it. Absolutely.
Soldiers, man, what's going on this week? What you been covering?
Well,
Where can people find you?
Yeah, you can find us at Soldiers of Finance over on YouTube. We dropped a video this morning about Trump repositioning nuclear assets in light of some statements that Russia made. And this is a pressure campaign that is multifaceted, goes along with India pausing oil purchases from Russia. Looks like Trump is being very asymmetric in pushing Russia to the peace table with Ukraine. So check out Soldiers of Finance, learn more about that. And we just keep politicians and policymakers accountable. So check us out. Also, I want to mention this. I know that in America today, there's a real lack of quality science fiction. You gotta go further afield. There's a great movie series called Wandering Earth. It is out of China. China is making some of the best sci-fi out there right now. So if you're so inclined, the first movie is on Netflix. You can find Wandering Earth 2, but let me caution you, the second movie is not translated. I watched it last night. About a third of it is in English in terms of the language it's spoken, but you'll get it. If you're a citizen of Tyronistan, I have faith in you. You're smart enough to get it. So check out some Chinese sci-fi. It's good stuff.
So the chat says, shout out to Tyrone's camera, who's been working extra overtime.
Yeah, that movement's nice. That movement follows
overtime
nice,
tonight.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Again, thank you for watching. Just the guys. Again, I'm the host, Logic. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, share it with a friend. We're going to put out another clip this week. Make sure you like it, watch it, hit that notification bell so you know when it drops. And again, remember, we're here to bring back shame, and only monkeys litter. Peace.